So this is so frustrating. For a dog, so is it just shampoo? Do you do shampoo and conditioner?
Yeah.
Is there like
Then you got the ones that are combined. Shampoo, conditioner.
See, it's just too much.
Yeah.
I don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
Google this thing and you don't know is my dog's hair it's just too frustrating.
Could you imagine if you got the wrong one too?
Oh my gosh.
What it would do?
Oh my.
Your poor pup.
My daughter would be. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah,
I don't want to think
let's
about
not even go there.
Ruin lunch. Mm-hmm. That is the interesting thing though. Like, there's Google. You can Google anything. You can Google everything.
Right?
You can find so many different ways to shampoo your dog or shampoo yourself or whatever. And I just need somebody. Like, I wish they could come to my house.
Yeah.
And just sit down and talk to me about this is the right way to go about it.
It's like you need a guide. You need wisdom, you need insight to be able to make decisions that we all have to happen and make every day.
I don't need any more information.
No.
I get this thing that I can't carry. I don't need that. I need wisdom. I need somebody who knows what they're talking about. It's kind of the cool thing about Proverbs.
Yeah.
As pastors, we're always talking to people about what do you do with your life and how do you do it well. Like Proverbs is just one of those books. You got an author like Solomon, the wisest person that ever lived.
No kidding, yeah.
And everything is about real life. I mean, it's so incredibly practical. But I feel like I have to tell people too, it's just like with Google, like these aren't fail-safes.
They're not promises.
They're not promises.
Yeah,
they're practical, they're direction, they're instruction, but they're not promises. Doesn't mean they're always going to happen. And I don't know if you found this, but like most of what we do with it, especially the teachings in Proverbs, once you do it, sometimes it takes a long time to actually, like wisdom's more of a marathon than a sprint.
No, it doesn't just happen overnight where all of a sudden you know what to do, but you have these principles that kind of begin to guide your life and help you out along the way in ways when earlier in your life you didn't even know that would be helpful, but you remember these sound bites and these just wise things that guide us and help us make really good decisions for our lives.
And it's all tied together. Like you've got little things that you do that Proverbs teaches you about that if you do it, instead of Googling, I feel lost and alone, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then you get like the 6 ways to stop feeling lost and alone.
Yeah.
And you do that for 3 hours and then you're like, I feel okay. And then the day gets hard and you're like, I'm lost and alone. And so you're back to Google again.
Yeah.
Some of those very little teachings in there, like you bring that in, you start practicing it. And it begins to change everything else down the road. So it contributes to a whole life kind of thing. Like, what do I do with my relationships? I feel like so many people are looking for those kind of answers.
Yeah.
Don't just give me the 3 steps to a better whatever. Give me something that is actually going to literally change stuff that's going on in my life.
Yeah, meets me in where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
And is based in real life scenarios and situations.
See, if I were, it'd be funny. I mean, we're just having lunch, but if somebody was, I don't know, listening to our conversation.
Why would they do that?
I mean, we're in a restaurant. I mean, somebody be listening to our conversation.
That's just weird.
Somebody maybe even, I don't know, doing some kind of reading plan through Proverbs. I feel like people really need to come back to, especially if they're going to read Proverbs, they just need to come back to that idea of these aren't promises.
No.
They're not always going to happen. They're general wisdom.
Yeah.
That and that this is going to take a while. And I've done this. So you get something that's a good, healthy practice, whether it's going to the gym or whatever, and you do it a couple times, and you feel like, oh, I'm doing really well.
Yeah.
And then you hit the snooze button.
And you have bad days.
Or you eat a ton of fries or whatever, and you kind of bail on that whole thing. And that Proverbs is just that. Like, you have to keep coming back to it.
Yep.
You have to keep coming back to it. Keep letting it influence your life. And over the long term, that produces a lot of change. I don't know, maybe that's what you've experienced.
Yeah, that it doesn't happen overnight, but it's kind of like almost learning another language in the way to live.
Yep.
That you don't learn the entire language by studying one set of vocab cards, but when you really begin to commit to doing something like that, you learn to think different, and you learn to engage and interact in different ways. And when we deepen our wisdom that God has for us through reading through Proverbs, it is just that process. It takes a long time, and they're not the promises that happen overnight. But in the end, it's truly just the best way that we could ever live in the world God made.
It's awesome. Well, man, let's eat since
Yeah,
we're here.
let's dig in.
Might as well, for sure.
So what do you think looks good?
I don't know. Still thinking about dog shampoo, actually.
Yeah. Maybe there's a proverb for that.